years, like it developed, because I blamed it on his mom for a long time. But it's not his mother, it's him. Like, I'm going places where he was at and he left.
Fifth, you love your son?
I used to. You ask yourself how long, a complicated question would say, how long can you love something that don't love you back?
The beef between 50 Cent and his son Marquise runs way deeper than just the $6,700 a month in child support that has been kind of going viral lately. And in this video, I'd like to go over it with you. Before that, I've got a goal, 1,000 subs by November. It's a tall goal, but I'm pretty close. So if you're enjoying the content, feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get to it. So 50 Cent and his son Marquise basically went viral after a clip of Marquise complaining that $6,700 a month in child support was just not enough to live off of.
I know what it feels like to have nothing, all right? And I had to rebuild my life over with $6,700 a month.
Marquise, I know you feel like that ain't a lot of money, but it's a lot of people here watching right now. Girls that's getting $200 a month child.
As Chuck was saying, I mean, it's women that's getting $200 a month, and $6,700 is way beyond what the vast majority of women are getting in child support. Let's check it out. Many women today are getting somewhere between $430 and $750 a month in child support, which is like significantly less than $6,700. Most people aren't even making $81,000 a year, so even if the mom was only using that income, that's more than enough. On top of that, there's even more craziness going on.
This is crazy. You're 25 years old. Why are you still talking about child support?
He was giving me $25,000 a month.
She did nothing. So, I mean, I was giving her $500,000 a year. And then she thought she was entitled to 17% because she listened to the bum. Oh, man, these chicks that she be having around her got to think because New York State law says you entitled to 17%, girl. You see all that vitamin water money going in.
Friends.
I can hear that now. Can't you hear that now over apple martinis?
That's what happened. And then while I was giving her money, like I was giving her $25,000 a month. And she went in, she thinking she going to get $50,000.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? And then when the reality hit her, like that 17,000, that 17% is real, but it applies to $80,000. If you're making $40,000 and your man is making $40,000, they want 17% out of his check directly to apply to the child.
So basically, the baby mom got in her head, listening to her friends instigating, like, "Oh, girl, you can get even more money, so on and so forth." And she was getting $25K per month, but she went in to try to get even more money. And instead, the judge reduced it to $6,700 per month, which, you know, she basically shot herself in the foot. Then on top of that, 50 was basically paying for their place to stay.
I said she was a nurse.
He's a nurse.
50, what is good with this dude? What, like, when did he move in? Did he really move into the crib?
Yeah, he did. He stayed there.
And he knows you own it?
How you gonna know? You can see the little boy right there.
But that's not even the worst of it.
Yeah, then why you didn't be a responsible parent and say, look, you don't need 50 pairs of shoes.
So basically, the mom was assisting to push sort of an entitlement kind of mentality onto the son so that he would constantly be feeding into, I deserve more, I deserve this, I'm 50's son, everything should just come to me, you know what I'm saying? Which obviously has kind of fed into who he is now. But even back then, like, that's basically where it came from. There's more. 50 Cent ended up buying a whole lot of shoes with the intention of giving it to his son so that his son could open up like an online shoe store. And it seemed like a good idea, but things didn't turn out the way 50 wanted it to.
As soon as I left the shop, I called up my son. Yo, Marquise, you know how you always been fascinated with shoes? I asked. Well, I just figured out a way you can afford them yourself and start to earn a little money of your own too. I broke down the whole plan for him. I explained how it was a great opportunity that would not only support his passion, but allow him to get a nuts and bolts understanding of how business works. This is a layup, I told him. Not too many stores get to start off with free inventory. You could really do something with this. If you're truly passionate about sneakers, this is the time to show it. Marquise said all the right things on the phone, how excited he was and how it sounded like a great opportunity. So I had the shoes shipped down to Atlanta. Then I never heard from him about it again. Weeks and months passed. Finally one day, his mother called me and announced that she and Marquise been talking. Instead of an online sneaker store, they wanted to open a clothing boutique in Atlanta. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The plan I envisioned didn't include her. I wanted our son to learn how to be responsible for himself. By injecting herself into the mix, she was just trying to keep him a boy a little longer. I still wanted Marquise to get some experience, so I said, sure, let me know when you guys want to do something. But of course, their boutique never went anywhere. And the online sneaker shop didn't either. My issue with Marquise wasn't that he wanted all those sneakers. When I was a kid, I wanted sneakers too. The difference is that I was willing, make that determined, to do the work necessary to obtain them. I wouldn't for a second want Marquise to have to resort to the type of work I put in to get my kicks. At the time, I perceived selling drugs as the only viable option in my environment.
There's several moments where Marquise's mom basically interjected herself and imparted some of her influence or hate toward 50 that would then just come on to Marquise, and now he's feeling some type of way. Right now he's not necessarily wanting to go down the path that 50 has kind of encouraged him to go down. He's following behind his mom. In many situations, the mom's influence over Marquise is significantly negative. Right? She's kind of constantly just sideswiping him for her own gain, basically. Of course, with all of the extra stuff going on, the hate, so on and so forth, and him actually being with his mom, he's siding with her. I mean, there's obviously some sort of a natural connection between a mother and son and a father and daughter, so that don't help. And while this is also pretty messed up, that's not even the worst of it. There's more. Due to Marquise's issues with his dad, he ended up kind of befriending or taking pictures with his dad's enemies or people that his dad had beef with. While all of that is true, that's not really the worst thing that's happened. 50 Cent grew up without his parents. His mom passed away when he was 8, and his father was MIA. So he was basically raised by his grandparents in a rough neighborhood in New York. Eventually got older, started selling drugs, doing things that most parents wouldn't want their kids to have to do in order to get by, in order to be some kind of successful. Through all of that, he's trying to find ways that he can come up and get out of this situation. So, he getting into hip hop, so on and so forth, writing lyrics, and then he get shot 9 times. After being shot 9 times, he has like this close connection with life and death, right? That most people will never experience in their lifetime. So now his mind is on like get rich or die trying. Basically, is like by any means necessary, he's going to be successful, or he's gonna stop breathing. That's what his mindset was.
Now motherfuckers say you crazy, nigga call me crazy. You know I be thinking when they say that? Niggas say I'm crazy, I be thinking, yep. I was crazy enough to believe what the fuck I was saying gonna happen was gonna happen. And that's why I was persistent enough and consistent enough to exist now.
He had to fight and battle through all of the things that he went through. Not having parents, being raised by his grandparents, growing up in a rough neighborhood, getting into various kinds of just drug activity. Then he basically got shot 9 times and survived. After all of that, he still pushed forward and became one of the most known people on the planet. As far as his net worth, he's one of the wealthiest men on the planet. So after all of that, after going through everything that he went through, after achieving financial success on that level, what do you think the next kind of success he would want would be? Fatherhood.
My little monster right there, Marquise. So Junior, that's the guy I work for right there.
Seeing that he came from such a rough background and went through hell, got shot, survived, and became great, I believe that one of the most important things for him personally would be fatherhood. To take his son and be like, yo, you don't have to go through what I went through. Let me teach you what I've learned so you can be better than me. That to me is easily the greatest loss in this situation. His connection to his son, right? His ability to be able to impart knowledge onto him, teach him the business, make him a much better man than himself. That's way more important than the $6,700 a month, the $25K a month, the shoes, all that other stuff. And that is like easily just the most unfortunate situation out of this whole thing to me. All right. Some of it's because of the mom, some of it's because of the son, and some of it was just because of 50's success.
You see, so in this experience, you look and you say, I didn't think success would cost me my firstborn, but it's the situation it is. Like my grandfather would say, it rattled like a snake. If it slithered like a snake, is it a snake or do you need to be bit?
And now because of everything that's happened, that connection is all but destroyed, right? I mean, they don't talk, they don't deal with each other. It's sort of a heavily tense situation between them, which sucks, right? That's his firstborn son. I don't know. I hate it for him. I'm not saying 50 is Jesus, but I hate to see a father that wants to have a good connection with his son be denied that connection for various reasons, obviously, as I went through in this video. If you have any thoughts, opinions, comments, so on and so forth, feel free to express yourself by the many means available on this page. The son is talking about, he'll pay $6,700 to meet with his father. I don't know if that's even that big of a deal at this point. It's not really about the money, but somehow the son is still using the money. It's not about that. It's never been about the money. It's been about the connection. It's been about what a father can teach a son. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think. All right.